Hi, Scott from TEC Mailing here. Hey, I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you about TEC Mailing's technology stack, a look at the user experience in MailPreparer, and the overall umbrella in which we provide print service providers and implants the ability to grow and exceed the expectations of their clients. Before I do that, I wanted to have a dialogue about technology in general. And anyone who's been paying attention recently to thought leaders in the industry and technologists like Joe Webb or Chris Bondi from RIT, there has been a big focus on cloud technology. See, Adobe went to cloud. Many of the, if you're looking at MIS, CRM certain system, those are certainly cloud-based, and it affords you great leverage to use technology in a way that provides greater efficiency. Cloud-based CRMs are a great thing for your sales reps. They allow them to get into there and make notes and close more businesses as a result and help your organization grow. The mailing systems aren't too much different than that. And so when you're looking at expanding your mailing operation or looking at it, there's a lot of things that are changing in the industry. Print runs are getting shorter. This is no surprise. Mail volumes are down, jobs are up. So you need an efficient way to get that mailing out of there. And I don't think that trend's probably going to continue. We're probably going to see more increased jobs and lower volumes. So the efficiency in which your mail operation outputs mail is vital to the success of your organization. So without further ado, let's take a look at MailPreparer and the user experience it affords your clients and kind of talk about why that can be impactful for you. All right, here we go. I've logged into MailPreparer and I'm at the home screen. And what MailPreparer is a replacement for your on-site mailing solution that you're using today. That's probably 30 years old. And why that it's important for you is efficiency and just availability and where you can access your mailing operations. So you can be on a Mac, a PC, an Android. You can actually be on your phone and prepare a list. So I've logged in here using Microsoft Edge, and I'm going to show you how to run a job in MailPreparer. It's wizard-based, so what we do is click the job to start. And that will take you to an area where you're able to give that job a name so you can reference it in the future and select from a series of templates should you have those built. We'll go into that at the end. Next, you're able to upload files or a file or files. For this particular presentation, I'm just going to run one file and show you how that user experience looks. I can continue to upload as many files and concatenate them as I wish to the system for a single mailing. It doesn't matter what file structure they're in or what format they're in. This is a CSV file right now. I'll press next, and it basically takes me to an area where the system reads the file. And as I said, it really doesn't matter what format your file's in. As long as it's delimited in any format, MailPreparer can bring it in. You'll also notice that we don't ask you to just give us the address block. We bring that entire file in. So the only thing we're really trying to do in this screen right here is to determine that that first record is field names. And we knock that up so it omits them from processing. At this point, you can go in and rename these files if you wish. I'm just going to leave those be and press next. This brings you to a bingo sheet that basically instructs MailPreparer on what you'd like to do to this file. I'm going to choose CAS and NCOA, and you'll notice below that there are a variety of web services you can get into, apartment a pen, phone a pen for your convenience. These are charged additionally should you need them. Also, DSF2 files available for your convenience if you're doing highly saturated mail. Just click the button and you're charged at checkout. I'm going to go ahead and dedupe this file. And down in the pre-sort block, you'll probably notice something a little bit different that your current solution doesn't have, but we feel it's important. And there's a variety of ways to put your mail in the mail stream depending on what your cost savings are. And if you're using a commingler, we can output and prep data for a commingler. That allows you to put an intelligent mail barcode on the piece. And it also allows you to track and use some ancillary services. For this example, I'm just going to pre-sort the data. And below that, if you like confirm tracking, we offer that as well without any setup. If you want to track, simply click the button and you're tracking. You will be provided a dashboard to get in and see where your mail's at that point. Next, it takes you to the field mapping area. And you can see in this particular example, the file is mapped automatically for me. It uses our naming convention, so it's pretty convenient. if you have some different ways of explaining the way an address block is, you can go in here and pick those names to build the address block. And on the right hand side here, you'll see an example of the address block you're building in the system. We give you the first 15 records there. So we'll press next. And the next few screens are kind of broken down by logical chunks of what you're doing. This is the address hygiene block. And I'll point out here, one of the areas that MailPreparer is somewhat disruptive is if you're using a down market solution, the quality of the address quality isn't going to be as high as MailPreparer. We use one of the best address, widely regarded as best address quality engine in the industry from SAP. And it's really going to do a better job at doing the address quality piece for you. So the behavior of the product's a little bit different than what you may be accustomed to. A lot of the solutions out there will, for instance, when you're deduping, they'll show you a deduping list. Many of the clients we have leveraging our API or this system they're running millions of records a day. They don't have time to go through a deduping list. So they're reliant on the system to do that for you. And that's kind of what we offer a client that's, using MailPreparer that might be a small marketing service provider. The system is it's just going to make it more efficient for you. The merge details can be householding, one individual per address. It does leverage a library, so Richard, Rick, and Dick will be seen as the same person. And you'll notice down below here, had I uploaded several lists, they will accumulate here. You can assign normal or suppression, and you can also give them a priority off the deduping method. So some nice functionality with deduping. And below that, again, since we're in the data services area, there are some data services that are available to you by clicking a button, and you'll be charged on checkout for prison suppression, do not mail, and deceased should you need those. So MailPreparer will basically pre-sort any type of mail. So first class, standard mail, periodicals, bound printed matter, flats, parcels, it really doesn't matter. We'll just do a standard letter here. Pick the mail date as Monday. And then there's a regular nonprofit option here as well if you're doing work for nonprofits. So we'll do a 6x9 postcard. Enter that information in here. MailPreparer will calculate the individual thickness and weight should you have a sample size. So if you want to enter in an inch of mail and there's 20 pieces in there, just put that in there and we'll calculate the individual weight and thickness for you. Once we have that entered in, we will press next, and you'll notice we provide some examples of what a letter, a flat, and so forth are in there too for your convenience. So this has to do with the type of intelligent mail barcode you want. We provide basic and full service functionality. On either one, we will maintain uniqueness for your intelligent mail barcodes. And this is an important aspect of our service with regards to where the technology is going. There are a lot of different ways in which you can consume address hygiene and pre-sort engines. It could be through a solution like Infocus Switch, which is an automation solution. It could be in a storefront. It could be through your MIS system, or it could be through MailPreparer like you're seeing here. We don't care where you're consuming that data. As I said, we put an umbrella over your organization from an account standpoint. So no matter where you're consuming it, if you have MIDs loaded into that system, they're automatically going to manage the uniqueness. So if you're a seamless acceptance mailer or a full service mailer, don't have to worry about your scorecard as much with all these different silos and environments that people tend to build these days. On the right-hand side, you'll notice that the container attributes are already selected for you, and we've taken those off the prior screen with the 6x9 postcard. So you can override it if you have 1-foot trays and so forth, but these are really determined from the screen before. And the one thing you can kind of notice is we're doing some of the work for you. We don't want you to have to answer every single question. One of the things that's also unique about MailPreparer, as you're noticing, is we don't sell modules in MailPreparer. Everything's available to you. So if you want palletization, great, it's in there. You can just select these buttons and drive that output for you. Down below, we have your origin entry point, or where your BMEU is. If you're doing seamless acceptance or mail anywhere, you can kind of load those in there as you need to. But for most mailers, it's going to be a static function. And another area where we improve the cost savings for a mailer is through drop shipping or load planning. If you're the type of mailer that is dropping into SCFs and NDCs, love that. It's a great way to drive savings. But how we do this is through a post pre-sort process, and we ask you which NDCs and SCFs you're going to, and we give you a set of business rules you can load in here. What's your 100-pound cost to ship, minimum savings, and so forth, and it'll automatically manifest your mail. So if you're a list processor out there that's doing three or four jobs for one job to see which one's the cheapest, you can kind of forget about that if you want to load your business rules in there. So it's a great way to drive more savings for your client very easily without burdening yourself with extra work once you have a load plan in there. So here we are at MailPreparer, back at MailPreparer, going through it once you have that set up, and we will press next to the player information. Let me go back 1 second and point one other thing out. We do provide political mail support. Hopefully that's a sector of business you're concentrating on this year. There's going to be over $1 billion spent on postage, so it's a great business opportunity. But campaign and official election mail are both supported in MailPreparer. So I got ahead of myself a little bit, but here is where the information that's carried over to the postage statement is mailing agent, producer, permit holder, mail owner. This is commonly referred to as by-for information. We call them players in our system just to make them simple. But these are loaded in here, and they basically accumulate in a drop-down menu alphabetical order. So let's just say you're doing a job for Mohawk, your paper company, and you have their information here, and it's just easy to kind of populate. And that right there is a job. We press next, and it gives you a crossfoot of the information that you put into the system. You can select a delimited or a DBF file. It's your choice. We default towards CSV since most people are digitally printing these days, and that's the flavor they prefer. But if you're using an inkjet system, you might want a debase file, and we support that as well. I'm going to submit this job, and you'll notice that MailPreparer is collecting this data and the instruction set, and it's going to bang them against the service, our servers, which are supported in Azure. So we have an Azure stack out there that's spec'd with some very powerful servers that will process this work and populate this dashboard we're seeing now. Jobs under 50,000 records take about 2 or 3 minutes to load. You can sit here and watch this load, or if you have several jobs to do in the day, you can go home and start another job and kick off these jobs, and they'll accumulate and finish down in your area here. So this job right here is pending. We can go into it at any time and see a process, back to the dashboard area. But let's say for the sake of argument, this is a newsletter that you run every month. So how most people do that in MailPreparer is create a config. And in most software applications, that can be a significant burden. We make that about as easy as it can get. Just press the config button. It takes you to your library where you can give it a name, create the config, and evoke it later. So this is how most people run data through MailPreparer, through configurations. So let me show you that real quick, because it takes less than 30 seconds really to run a job when you have a config. So we'll just do that 6x9 postcard again. And we ask you to upload a file. Presumably that's going to be different every single time. So let me grab our data file, open that up. And if you've got a stopwatch, you can time me here on how long it takes to produce a job. So field mapping, we're assuming that we're working with different data files every single time, so that's going to be a requirement. But your set of instructions are remembered. Your field mapping finishes. Your cast data is there. Oh, let's say you want to override and choose a different path at any single time. You can override anything. So the configuration can be by job type or product type, like a 6x9 postcard I'm showing you here. And there's your 6x9 postcard. The mail date always changes. So let's go back to the 15th and change that. Press next. Remembers your barcode details, where you're going to drop ship and all that stuff. Next, it takes you to your player information, and that's a job, folks. That probably took me less than 30 seconds. So going back to kind of what I said before from a technology standpoint, I'll just ask you this question. If mail volumes are dropping and jobs are increasing, how important is it to have an efficient system? And oh, by the way, anyone can log into MailPreparer and run a job with the template. So you can start spreading this work across function areas in your industry. or not your industry, but your shop. So very, very convenient. So let's take a look at the output for MailPreparer for a second and show you what we produce. Going back into the dashboard, we'll grab a job that I ran yesterday. And here we go. The dashboard populates and gives you a statistic block on how things happen. And you'll notice that on this particular job, almost 100% of my records at +4 assigned. I highly encourage you that if you're using a application today, to give MailPreparer a try with the data files you've run off that and see how they compare to MailPreparer. You will see more records going out in the mail. So I'm going to open up the pre-sorted file. All right, so this is the pre-sorted file out that MailPreparer output, and you'll notice that if you're paying attention, you'll see all of these field names that were in there before, and we return those. And so what our system does is returns the file that you uploaded to us and starts appending data on it. You'll notice that in the BR record, we assign each record an ID. And as you go over, we create the OEL line for you, your intelligent mail barcode, which can be mail merged, and we have both varieties, both the alpha and the numeric. Piece number, we output a tray break. If you have a controller, you can use that to pause your equipment for tray 2. And then your trays and containers are to the right there. And as you scroll over, you'll see your final cast data, your final address, city, and state, which gets mail merged as well, and the zip code all in one line there. A little unique piece we also provide is a manifest key for each piece. So you'll notice this piece right here costs 0.256 cents to mail. And what that allows you to do is combine mail from multiple mail owners, if that's a strategy you'd like to use to drive postal savings, and calculate to the penny what each person owes. It's a little bit different, something that more people seem to be trending toward. And you'll notice that the rest of the statements that you'll need are converted into PDFs for your convenience, and you can download those. And here's the postage statement we produce. It tells you how those are qualified. You'll notice that I didn't do an NDC or SCF drop, but you can see how easy it is to put these pieces into a different rate category if you want to leverage drop shipping. So different ways to save money. And your tray tags and the rest of the information are PDFs. Now you'll notice down below there's some CAS, NCOA, and DSF2 output files. These aren't necessarily something that a mail preparer would want to pay attention to, but there's something your client might want. We just output those automatically for you. So if you're sending your NCOA change to your client, which you should be doing, a file for your client is output so that you can simply send those changes on to your client. They can update their address of record. So that's MailPreparer in a nutshell. I will show you one other piece of functionality that's quite commonly used in MailPreparer, and that's our EDDM functionality. So at this stage right here, you're either uploading a list or you're building an EDDM list. And I'll go ahead and build an EDDM list. And to do so, you just give us the zip codes in which you want to mail to, comma delimited. Oops. And we'll just update. We'll just do one zip code because I'm feeling lazy in this demo. And we'll pick some carrier routes. And you'll notice you can drive residential addresses, include business and PO boxes and so forth down below there as well. I'll press next here. And what we're really doing in this is completing the process that someone would do for the facing slips essentially. So I'll just do a flat because that's what most of these EDDMs are. Right? So once we do that, we can get to the bundle and facing slip information, which is right here. And you'll notice that the bundle sizes can be triggered. It defaults toward 50. You can change that to 100 if you wish. It's got your origin entry point, and that's basically how you produce an EDDM mailing in MailPreparer. Another thing I'll notice and mention is our process acknowledgement form experience has been around for about 10 years. We're the first company to do an electronic PAF process form, and we make that very simple and easy with an agnostic product called ExpressPath. And ExpressPath basically is the account creation for your PAFs. You can add new PAFs as a broker agent, list owner, and so forth. And when your client gets those, they just accumulate automatically in MailPreparer. There's nothing you have to do for that. So we will exit out of ExpressPath and go home. And so that's MailPreparer. And to step back a second and talk to you about other things that TEC Mailing is doing to help people save money in postage. And this is a common trend is that people are trying to not just prep data for the postage service anymore. That's one way of injecting mail into the mail stream. Another way is really rate shopping each individual piece. And so what we provide is a business rules API that can be leveraged to drop name and address data files into, and based off your business rules and all your cost structures that go into that, you can optimize your postage for a commingle, or what we call a hybrid option, really. And what it does is with a single pass of data, it uses all those business rules to both create a USPS direct output report and all the postage statements associated with that. And it will also provide information for your commingle operator so that they know what they're getting. They can set up their bin schemes, hopefully give you a better in-home rate and save you more money on postage. So what does this mean? We onboarded a client last year with this solution, and they had a prior cost saving strategy. It's a printer that does between 3 and 4 million pieces a day. And we were able to save them over $1 million in postage by leveraging a simple piece of technology that, quite frankly, was very easy to implement. From the time we talked to this client to implementation, it was with 3 months, and that's a very short time horizon from a sales cycle. Is something as complex as this, but it's very, very easy to implement these solutions. So it's just another way that TEC Mailing is helping mail providers. And again, going back to the original prelude to the conversation on MailPreparer, where's the industry going? It's going in the same direction it always has been. It's changing. It needs to be more efficient. We can make it more efficient for you, and we can save your organization money. I would encourage you to check out the why videos in our YouTube video section to hear what our clients have to say. I'm here to sell you this stuff. Don't kid yourself. I'd love to do that. But our clients will tell the story much better and tell you why they love TEC Mailing and why it's something you should consider right now. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us at 608-825-8525, option 2, or sales@TEC Mailing. And I appreciate you watching this valuable presentation today. Talk to you soon.